Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Tariq. I made this channel for you guys to get better this term, since term 3 is the most important term, as all of you guys know. Since most of you are planning on making your quote-unquote academic comeback. Now, if you study hard, you can. Trust me, you'll get high averages. If you don't, well, yeah, your academic comeback's not really happening. Anyways, this is a good point to start with. Okay, so this channel will solve quizzes regarding physics, math, sometimes chem, and like other subjects. For example, I take computer science. I might put computer science material out here sometimes. And yeah, that's pretty much the point of this channel. The point of it is to help you get better at math, physics, chem, and any other subjects you have. Okay, so let's get started with the first question of the Math Week 2 CE Quiz 1. This is the first quiz out of 2 quizzes on the Math CE exam. On week 2, of course, this is instead of the AMS. Now, for this one, there's a property. Let me just open the whiteboard real quick. Do I not? Oh, it's called open board. Okay, my bad. Anyways, so the property of these trapezoids, right? If there is a line and this is the midpoint and this is the midpoint, so this is the median. Okay. Now, in medians, they want the value of PR, right? Okay. So to find PR, what you're gonna do is just write it down. PR equals now it's gonna be the values of the two lines, like the sum, so like 13 plus 15, half of that, so over 2. Okay. Now if you want this in a formula, I think you could write m equals x plus y over 2. Okay. So in our case, x is 13 or 15, doesn't matter, and y is 15. Okay, it can be 13 depending. Okay, so what you do, 13 plus 15 is 28. Okay, so 28 over 2 gives you 14. So your answer here is gonna be 14, and that's our first question done. Nice and simple, right? We did this before. So 14. Okay, next question. Now, by the way, I do have a Google Drive that has like other solutions. So it has grade 9 quiz solutions. It has physics in it. It has math. Now this is not like all published yet, so there's only math week 1 and physics week 1, even though we were online, so we couldn't like do them. Okay. So I will be linking this drive, and you will be able to get its resources. So you will be able to see, like if you want to skip the video, you can just see my solutions to the whole things. And if you don't know anything, you can just come back to a certain point in the video, and I'll explain it. Okay. So, question number 2. Question number 2 is about similar triangles. Similar triangles are extremely easy. But they can be tricky because of the orientation of anything, like not the values, just the orientation. If you notice here, this is not oriented in the right way because the hypotenuse is facing this way, the longest side, obviously. But here it's facing this way, so we rotate. Okay. Now, once we rotate, this is gonna be equal to this, and this is gonna be equal to this, because you rotate it. It's gonna look like this. Oh my god, forgive me for my terrible drawing. It's gonna look... Isn't there a line function here? Let me just look for it really quick. I am really sorry about this. There is supposed to be a line function. I don't think it's here though. So anyways, this right triangle, this here, oh I drew one, and this here, look, notice how they're the same. This is what this triangle is gonna look like once it's rotated to the right way, obviously, so you can combine the values. Now, not combine, you can set them equal to each other. On similar triangles, let's go to arc drive. Let's go to question 2. Okay, this is question 2. Now, you're gonna have 5 equal to 10 and 5 over 10 is gonna be equal to 12 over a, or 10 over 5 equals to a over 12. Okay, so now to find this, you have 5 over 10 and 12 over a. Well, that's why I said that before, right? Now you cancel 5 over 10, you get 1 over 2. Now all you do is you multiply 1 by a and 12 by 2. So you'll get a equals 12 times 2, which is 24. And that is your answer to question 2. A equals 24. Okay, to question 3. Now, before I get started with question 3 and all the other questions, note that this won't have any like statements and reasons. I won't do that because that's pure memorization or understanding from the book, depending. And I will not be like ever explaining these. Also, there will be a lot, and I mean a lot, of rules you need to memorize here, and most of this quiz is factorizing, so if that's a weak point, I strongly recommend you watch through the whole video. Okay, so consider the monomial, this is question 3 by the way. Consider the monomial 13x to the power of 7 yu squared v to the power of 4. Now, what is the numeral coefficient? The numeral coefficient is the numeric value. It's not the value, it's the value that's a number. It's not a variable like x, y, u, or v. So it's 13. Now, to find the degree of monomials, degrees of monomials, not polynomials, it's the sum of all the exponents, including this tiny y, because remember this is y to the power of 1. So, you're gonna have 7 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4. This is how to find the degrees of monomials. You will just add the exponents. Now, 7 plus 1 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, 10 plus 4 is 14. So your answer here is 14. Okay, that's simple. That's it. 14. Now, question number 4. Okay. Here you're gonna have to memorize, you probably do know this by now, you're grade 9. The property of a to the power of m multiplied by a in this case is any number, a to the power of n equals a to the power of m plus n. You add, and for division you're gonna subtract. So like if this was a divide symbol or a fraction or anything, instead of the multiplication, it would be a to the power of m minus n. Please note that for this rule to apply, the bases have to be equal. So here the bases are equal and they're 2. So you have the same base, so you just apply the rule I just told you about. So 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 4, so 2 to the power of 3 plus 4, which is 7. That's it. Now, for this one, I can explain this to you in the simplified way, or the way that will actually get you to understand. Now, this is based on the rule I just explained. So, we need the result of 12, and we have 7 given. So you can just substitute any value. So since these are the same base, they're all 2c, 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 you can add the bases, or you can add the exponents, sorry. So we'll just name the unknown exponent x. Okay, so 7 plus x equals to 12. You take 7 to the other side, x equals 5, and that's your answer. Now you can't just do 12 minus 7, that's a simplified way, obviously that works, but I'm trying to explain why does it work here. Okay, so question 5. Factorizing. Okay, So to factorize non-quadratic equations, quadratics will be explained later. I'll explain them when I get the chance to factorize a quadratic, which I will have. You take out a common factor here. 5. So let me just go to the solutions. So my solutions. So we're on question 5. Let's go to question 5. Here. Okay. Since it's obvious that the greatest common factor is 5 between these two numbers, because like what's bigger than 5 and 5? That's not possible. And 180 is divisible by 5, so that's the greatest value you can have. So you write down 5. Okay? Now, you divide by 5 for every value. So 5 divided by 5 is just x squared. 5x squared divided by 5, sorry, it's just x squared. So you write down, you open brackets and you write that down. Now, you carry the minus sign over, okay, and you divide 180 by 5. Now, once you have this, 180 divided by 5 is 36, okay? That's it. Now, they want you to express it as a product of two binomials. So, what you can apply here, there's multiple rules you can apply here. Okay, so you can apply the difference of squares. So a squared minus b squared, which I think I have here somewhere. Yeah, I do, right here. Okay, so now a squared minus b squared expands into open brackets a plus b, close the first bracket, and open another bracket, a minus b, close the bracket. Okay, so 36 can be expressed as 6 squared. So right, so you're gonna have x squared minus 6 squared. Okay, so this is the difference of squares. Now you have a, which is x, and b, which is 6. Okay, now please note you can use trial and error here, and you can just use common knowledge here. It's kind of common sense, but I will be using the difference of squares for the majority of the questions, since they are all like applicable by this property or this identity, my bad. Okay, so you have a, which is 6, and b, which is a, which is x, and b, which is 6. Now you just apply what I told you, a plus b, or you can start, it doesn't matter, multiplication is commutative, so you can start with the minus or the plus. It doesn't really affect anything. So you keep the 5. This is the only thing that will stay here. So a plus b or a minus b, so x minus 6 multiplied, so you close this bracket, a plus b, so x plus 6, and this is your answer. That's it. And you got your answer for part A. If I can erase the video. So it was 5x minus 6 and x plus 6. Okay. Part B. Let's just go down to B. Okay. Here, since you have multiple values for like GCFs, well, you only have one GCF, but this isn't like 27 isn't a GCF, so you have to find the GCF between these two. Normally it's really common sense, just to try to find the factors of this and the factors of this. This is for large numbers. For smaller numbers it's really easy, like 27. If you divide 27 by 9 and 48 by 9, 48 doesn't divisible by 9 necessarily, so this 9 isn't your answer. Now, what's the next greatest factor of 27? 3, because 3 times 9, so like it's 1. So the factors would be 1, 27, and 3 and 9. Okay, and you close the brackets for that. So you check for divisibility by all of them, and you'll eventually get 3. Now, this is more or less common sense here. 27 and 48, it's kind of obvious that 3 is the only value that's kind of common between them. So you divide by 3, but please note, if there is a negative sign in the beginning of the equation they give you, write the value, the GCF, as negative form. So here notice I did not write 3, I wrote negative 3. And like the one above it, you just do the same thing. You divide by negative 3 this time, not positive 3. So negative 3, 27, negative 27 divided by negative 3 gives you 9, right? Positive 9, negative and negative become positive, and 27 divided by 3 is 9. Now, minus, because negative 3 divide 48 positive divided by negative 3 will give you a negative number, obviously. Now if you do the division, I did it in my head here, you'll get 16, negative 16. You obviously keep the u squared, but you take out the v's. I note, if you see, this is something I forgot to mention, if you see a common variable, please make sure to take it out, please, because this can make or break the whole equation or the whole factoring. So now after this, again you can apply the difference of squares, so minus 3v into, now what's the root of 9? 3 squared, so 3, so you square it to get 9, right? So you write down 3 squared minus, what's the root of square root of 16? 4 squared, is right. So, and notice you have the u squared, so what you can write this as 4u squared. Now do not be thrown off by this, it's still it's still a minus b. It is still a minus b. It doesn't change. The 3 is the 3 squared is the a, and the 4 squared, 4u squared is the b. It's just more than one value in the b. That doesn't matter. You do the same thing again. So you keep the 3v, the negative 3v, you take this down, right? Now a plus b into a minus b, so 3 plus 4u into 3 minus 4u. Let me just make this a bracket so it's more clear. Okay, and this is your answer. That's it. You found your answer. Or and then you try this. Now I did mix up the methods. I did use the difference of squares in the second method. This method was trial and error. Trial and error, you just keep trying and trying and trying. Luckily, I got this on my first try using trial and error, but this is really long and inefficient if you have the difference of squares available. If you can identify the squares, use them. Do not use this really long trial and error method, unless you're lucky. This is kind of a gamble. Okay, so let's just write down our answer. Negative 3v. 3 plus 4u, or 3 minus 4u. Again, this doesn't make a big difference since it's commutative. 3 plus 4u. Now, that's question 5 done. Only 21 questions left to go. Okay, so now you have all of this really long one. Now this looks complicated. I promise this is not. Polynomials are really intimidating, but they're really simple if you actually understand them. Now consider the polynomials, that really long one. We're on question 6. I wrote it down all here. Now what you're gonna do, you're gonna want to put distinct shapes or patterns or something to identify things of the same value. So here, I put a box around the constants, which are just values that never change. Negative 5 can never change, so can negative 1. So these are the constants. I put a box around them. Now if there's an x cubed, I put an underline. If there was just an x, I put a circle, what looks like a circle. And since x4 was alone, there was nothing to put it with. Now once you solve, so then you just find, now since 8x4 is alone, you bring it down. Since there's nothing to change it with, you tick it off. Okay, now you want to arrange these in standard form. You should have, I didn't, I made the mistake of not arranging it when I rewrote it. You should do this. In the written, it's recommended to do so. Okay, and now in standard form just means it goes down by order, so x to the power 4, x cubed, x, and negative 4. Okay, so now I go back to the next highest value, which is x cubed. So you have 4x cubed, that's positive, and positive x cubed. So 4x cubed plus x cubed, that's 5x cubed. So you take down the sum of this and you bring it down here, and you check these two off, just so that you don't confuse yourself. Now you have the x values, so minus 5 and minus 3. Minus 5x minus 3x. Negative and negative in addition or subtraction make a negative depending on the case, of course. If it's addition, it's always negative. So minus 5 minus 3 is negative 8, and you just copy down the x. So you take down that sum and you put it down here and you check both of them. Now, the constants, since they don't have anything, you leave them till last. Okay, so negative 5 plus 1. Minus 5 plus 1 is just saying 5 minus 1 with a negative sign. But I think you know how to add and subtract negative numbers. This is too childish if you don't. So minus 5 plus 1 is minus 4. And then you write this down here and you check off the two of them. And this is your answer. Look how simple polynomials are. I don't know why on the first term a lot of people got intimidated with them. Once I explained it to my friends, they found it really extremely simple. It's just the way they present it. Now I'll just copy everything. So 8x to the power of 4, 5x to the power of 3, minus 8x, I believe. Am I right? Yes. And minus 4. There. Do you have your answer to question 6? Now it's on to question 7. Okay. Here. This is really complicated and really confusing, so I need you to focus with me. This is the remarkable, there's the remarkable identity. So a minus b all cubed. Now, later, you will have a cubed minus b cubed. Please do not mix them up. I will explain the difference between them later, but for now, do not mix them up. Okay? Just, you don't need to know them now until we reach. Now, this part might be a little blurry. That's on me. I am really sorry. Now, okay. To simplify, the formula of a minus b cubed, it's a cubed minus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared minus b cubed. This is really long, I know. You can't really simplify it though, unfortunately. It's not really simplest way to solve this. It is the simplest way to solve this, but it's not really efficient either. So, you're just stuck with this. You add it. You copy it, sorry. Okay, so by now you should know what a and b are. A is the 1 and b is the minus 8c. Now you don't take the minus, just note this, you just take the 8c part of it. So, you substitute. 1 is a, so 1 cubed minus 3 multiplied by 1 squared, which is just 1. And 1 cubed is just 1. So 3 minus 3 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 8c. So this would be 20 minus 24c. Okay, so far you have this, which is alright. Now, plus 3 multiplied by 1, 3ab, so we're now here, 3ab squared. So you square 8c and you multiply it by 3. Since this is a 1, this is basically gone. So 3 times 64, if you do it in your head, which is really simple, you will get 192 c squared, obviously, because you squared c2. Do not forget about the c, please. Okay, so you'll get 192 c squared, and then minus 8c cubed, which is minus 512. Now, you probably will not have to find this extremely large value, because if you notice, if you still remember the formula in the exam, if you notice, they did give it to you. They did give you the value of b cubed. Okay, so that's your answer to that one part. So 1, because 1 cubed, minus I believe it was 24, and this was 192 c squared minus 512 c cubed. Let me just check. 1 minus 24 plus 192. Okay, this is right. Now, part B, 2x plus 3y all cubed. Okay, so here you notice they gave you they gave you a cubed. Okay, this is one of the simpler ones, so they will not give you the last value, the really large value. I don't think they need to. It's kind of just obvious. It's obviously 27 since it's 3 cubed. It's b cubed, so 3y cubed. So 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27y cubed. Okay, we do not need to go to the solutions. If you want to, I will. Let me just explain. Let's go to the solutions since I'll make it easier for you guys. B. Okay, this this looks a lot. I know. Believe me, I know this looks a lot. This looks hard. This looks like a mess of letters and numbers. Okay, So this, I just restated the same formula here. Obviously in the written you will have to do this. Do not restate it the way I did, because like this looks weird. I don't know why I did this part like this, but whatever. So you just substitute in the values. 2x cubed, which is 8x cubed, so it's already given to us, we can skip this part. Now 3 multiplied by 2x squared multiplied by 3y, obviously by PEMDAS. I will not write down all of this, so PEMDAS rule. PEMDAS, it stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So here you have the parentheses and the exponent, so you distribute the exponent first. Please do not multiply then distribute later. That's really dumb. That breaks literally all rules of math. So you're gonna have 3 multiplied by 4x squared multiplied by 3y. So 3 times 4 is 12, so 12x squared so far. Multiplied by 3 gives you 36, so 36x squared, and do not forget about the y, and do not forget about the x squared, so 36x squared y. Now the variables will be given in the exam itself, as you can see they did. So 36, you might not need to worry about these much, but if they don't, like if this was a written part question, they probably will not. So you will have to not forget these. Now part B, we're not done yet with it. So now we're done with the a cubed and the 3a squared b. Now it's 3 sorry for that extremely large checkmark. Now it's 3ab squared, so 3 multiplied by 2x multiplied by 3y squared. Now again you do the same thing, you distribute this and you distribute this. 3y squared, so 9, because 3 times 3, 9y squared. So 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 9, 6 times 9 is 54, 54xy squared. That's your value. Okay, this is what we have so far. I don't know why my mouse is doing this. Okay, so so far it's really easy, and the third value is just the b cubed, so 3y cubed, so 27y cubed. That's it. They look really hard, believe me, I know, but once you have the rule nailed down, so it's a cubed plus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared plus b cubed, then it's really simple. What is the tricky part here though is this one, because you're gonna have to memorize where the subtraction signs are. Personally, I memorize outer parts are subtraction, inner parts, so minus plus minus, outer parts subtraction, inner part addition. Okay, you just have to memorize them. They're the same numbers, same coefficients, same everything except the signs. So it's a cubed for a minus b, it's a cubed minus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared plus b cubed. Now, no, minus b cubed. I am extremely sorry, I just forgot my own thing. Okay, and for this one I just said it, so I will not be repeating it now. Off to 8, which I'll just get ready. So this was 54xy squared. Okay, this is the distribution of the parentheses. So what you do, this looks messy, but what you do is you distribute the values. So you multiply 2x by 5x squared, which will give you 10x cubed, since 2 times 5 is 10, and x times x squared is x cubed, so you write that down here. Okay, and now you distribute 2x over 9, so this will be 18x. I don't know why I don't have it. Oh no, this is a 4, isn't it? I cannot read my own handwriting. Am I that bad at this? Okay, yeah, that's a 4. So this would be 8x. Okay, and now you're done with the 2, since you distributed it over all the values. You have, if there was an additional term, you have to distribute it over it. You distribute everything across everything. Now you distribute the 3 now, so you have your 2 values, right? Now 3 times 5x squared, 10x squared, 15x squared, and then 3 plus 4, 3 times 4, oh my god, 12. Now if there was any simplification, say there was 10x cubed plus 8x plus 12x, so for example, you would need to add these two and put them as their final answer, so 20, so it would be 10x cubed plus 20x, but here there isn't, luckily. So you just write down everything and rearrange it in standard form, so 10x cubed plus 15x squared plus 8x plus 12, and that's your answer to question 8. The rest are really similar to this. The rest are just pretty much the same thing. So this was what was this, 15, and this was 8, and this was 12, if I was not mistaken. Let's check. Yes, it was. Okay. So the next question is going to be about division of polynomials. Not the long division, the simple one. The simple one's really easy. Though I strongly advise you to go and recap the long division of the polynomials, because that topic, a lot of people don't understand it at all, but it is simple. Okay, for this one, what you do is you take every value alone and divide it. So you're gonna take 4x cubed over 2x plus 16x squared over 2x plus 18x squared over 2x. So you just split everything into 2x. You get what I mean? And now most of this is common sense. So 4 divided by 2 is 2x cubed, divided by x is x squared, plus 16 over 2 is 8. So just 16 over 2 is 8. And then you take x minus x squared over x squared, x squared over x. We just did this. A minus a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n is a to the power of n m minus n. So x squared minus x will give you 8x. Now 18x divided by x, by 18x divided by 2x is gonna give you just 9, since the x and x cancel out. It's 1 minus 1, 0. Now this, a lot of people write it as 6x. Why are you writing it as 6x, first of all, can I ask? And second of all, it will be given most of the time in every exam we've had on the simple division. This last value was given to you, so you don't really need to worry about this. But whatever it is, leave it as over x. Do not write it down as 6x. So minus 12 over 2x. You obviously minus, so you just put the minus down, since it's not a negative, it's a positive division. And 12 divided by 2 is 6. Since there's no value of x here, so we leave it over x, right? So 6 over x, this is your value. This is your answer right here. Now you just copy this over, so 2x squared plus 8x plus, so what was that, 9, I remember. Yes, okay, and as you can see, that's negative 6 minus x is given. Okay, I literally just did this, so this is something I'm not gonna recap. 18 minus 11 is 7, right? 18 minus 11, kind of common sense. And okay, this one is similar to the one I talked about, the x 75 plus x, something gives 12 or whatever it was. So this one, what's tricky about this? They are still the same base. It's still the base of 2, but this is squared. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna go here. As you can see, I mentioned the rule again here if you got lost. Okay, so what you're gonna do here, since this is basically like a lot of values, since it's 2 squared to the power of y, what you're gonna want to do, you're gonna want to distribute. So where did I go? Let's see. Okay, I ignore this. This is for your B. This is for B, which I just completely skipped. Good on me. Okay, so 17. Since they're the same base, you can set them to the same thing. Now note this. This is 5 to the power of negative 1. Okay, so you're gonna set your equation to be 17 minus 3x, because since in when you multiply, you distribute the exponent, right? So you're distributing the cube exponent with the x exponent, so this would be 3x, okay, equals to negative 1. This is the tricky part. This is where people get things wrong, because this is 5 to the power of negative 1. So you take this to the other side, minus 3x is going to be minus 18. So I'll just continue from the copybook because my handwriting is terrible. So where was he? Where was I? I'm not thinking today. Minus 3x equals minus 18. You cancel the negative signs with each other, then divide by 3. You get x equals 6, and that is your answer. Now, this is more or less common sense. I'm just explaining why are we simply subtracting. This is, you don't even need to do all of this. Okay, C. Same story, except this time we're subtracting 24 from 2y, so it's gonna be 2y minus 24 equals this part you guys are gonna not really understand, because if you do 1 to the power of 0, that will still equal 1. Okay, so you set this to 1 to the power of 0 because you want the thing to equal 0, of course, right? Because you want 1. That's the only value. Listen, because this could be 1 to the power of 5, but if you decide to do that, 2 to the power of the result of whatever we got won't make 1, since this isn't 1 itself. This is the result of this has to equal 1, so this has to be 2 to the result of this has to be 2 to the power of 0, which will give you 1. Okay, this is why we need to set this to 1 to the power of 0, which is still 1. So you set it 2y minus 24. As you can see, I made the mistake myself. However, I realized, which you guys should do. So 2y minus 24 equals to 0. You take 24 to the other side, of course, because you want y alone. It will be positive, and you'll get the simple value of y equals 12. Just jot that down right here, and you have 10 questions done. Okay, this looks hard, and it's probably gonna be hard for some of you, but this, in reality, this is really simple. So this just looks like a bunch of numbers. I know, this is something, to say the least. By the way, we don't have that much left. It's not that long. The quiz, it could have been worse. I mean, look how long this one page is, that's it. And this is common sense. This part I will have to be explaining to you guys, since you guys cannot get this. These are functions, by the way. I will explain later. I'm not gonna talk about things you don't need to know. This is just more factorizing. As you can see, the whole quiz is pretty much factorizing. There is a property you need to know here though, so we will be doing that. Everything, especially this is going to come 100%. So please try and practice as much as you can on these quizzes, because if you want to make your quote-unquote academic comeback, you gotta start from somewhere like tangible, you know. So let's go to question 11. Okay, we're here. Now, A. I don't like marking my questions A, B, C. I don't mark this, I go B. Now, since this is a plus sign, okay, you can just remove the parentheses in general. You can remove this and this. You can remove the brackets. You don't need them. However, in part B, there's the negative sign, so you need to distribute everything. Then you remove the brackets. Okay, so let's do this. So negative 15x plus 7 plus 5x squared, sorry, minus 3x plus 4. Okay. So here, since you do the same thing I did, you leave patterns. However, like I just did this mentally, so I didn't do anything. So you write this down. So 5x squared, you leave it since there's nothing to do with it. And now negative 15x and negative 3x, obviously minus 15 minus 3 is going to be minus 18x, and plus 4 and plus 7 plus 4 is just going to be 11. So this is your answer. That's it for part A. This quiz is really simple. Don't get me wrong, this quiz is just really intimidating. So if you focus with me, which I hope you are, you'll be able to understand all the concepts, and these concepts you took them before, so I shouldn't really be spending as long as I am explaining the concepts. Okay, here, like I said, you copy everything down, especially when there's a negative before the parentheses. You will need this for the question I talked about regarding the functions. So before you remove these brackets, you distribute the negative. Okay, so minus with minus becomes plus, so you just write down the first part. This first part you copy it and you distribute. So minus with minus becomes plus, so it's going to be positive 6m, and minus with positive make negative, so minus 2m and minus 3. Now you write down all of that over to the next line, and then you do the same thing you did for the other one. So when you do that, you'll get 3m squared plus 2m plus 7. So 10 minus 3, for example, that's where we got the 7 from. 4m minus 2m, that's where we got the positive 2m from. Minus 3m minus 3m plus 6m, that's where we got the positive 3m from. Okay, so it's really simple. It just looks intimidating. Okay, so it was 3m squared plus 2m plus 7. Now for any theorem related questions except one, they will be skipped. So the statements and reasons are definitely skipped. So question 14 is not going to be done. Question 16, I believe, is not going to be done. And this one is the only other theorem regarded question that I will be doing, other than that first one we did, and the first two we did, sorry. And those are the only geometry questions for regarding CE quiz 1. Okay, this is what a quadratic looks like. Now, this can be solved for x in two ways, but we don't want x, we just want the factoring. So a quadratic, what it needs to have: an x squared value, or a y squared, a variable squared value, minus a positive or a negative value here that has to have an x or whatever value. But for any variable, I'll just refer to them as x. So it must have an x squared, an x, and a value with no x, and all of this has to equal 0. This is the important part for the quadratic. If it equals 1, that's not allowed. It needs to equal 0. Okay? So, now this isn't relevant since you didn't even take this, and you will be next year, so it's just extra knowledge, and they will teach you the quadratic formula. Okay, I'm just yapping at this point. So let's go to question 12. Since there's something I forgot to mention. Since the x squared term is alone, the a term is alone, because this is commonly referred to as the a term. So this is going to be a here, and this is going to be, and this is going to be c. Okay, anyways, this is irrelevant info. The a squared, the ax squared term, if it has the coefficient of 1 or no coefficient, then that means you can use the product and sum method, or I call it the SP method. So you set a box, you set two boxes. The one beside the ax squared term, you're gonna label that S, and the one beside that, you're gonna label it P. Okay, so this stands for sum and product. Now if I go over to my copybook solutions here, the sum is going to be -12 and the product is going to be 35. Now what two numbers make when added result in negative result in a negative integer, and when multiplied result in a positive integer? Obviously two negative numbers. So you're just gonna have to find values that are negative values that make up 7, that make up 12 and 35. One added, negative 12, and one multiplied, positive 35. Now, through really simple common sense and logic, you're gonna find out that it's gonna be -7 and -5. Those are your two numbers. So you factorize, and you're just gonna put a bracket and write x. So you're gonna open a bracket and put x minus whatever number here. So in this case it's going to be 7x minus 7, and then another term. This is common factoring as a product of two binomials. I explained this not too long ago. You just copy down the numbers. Moral of the story. Okay, this is x minus 7 and this is x minus 5. On to the next question. This is going to be, I believe, another the squares problem. Yeah, it is. This is going to be another difference of squares. Now, 7x squared and minus 112. This is kind of obvious. You can take 7 out as a greatest common factor. Leave the x since there isn't an x on the other term. So this is just 112. Okay. Keep in mind this is also not a quadratic since there is no bx term. No, there's an ax squared and there's a c term. There isn't a bx term. So basically what you do, you take the 7 out as the common factor, you divide by 7 on both numbers, so you'll be left with x squared minus 16, which is 4 squared. I just skipped this step. So now you're gonna have the difference of squares, and straight away you use the thing a plus b multiplied by a minus b, and you get your numbers, which is x plus 4 and x minus 4. So you're gonna put 7, x minus 4, and x plus 4. Now, this one is the same thing, but again, there is the negative 9. So you put down a negative 9 as the factor, and there is an x on both terms, so you take out the x as a factor. So your greatest common factor should be negative 9x, which it is. Then you divide. So negative 9x divided by negative 9xy squared divided by negative 9x just returns y squared, right? That's going to come since this and this cancel out and this cancel out. So you're just left with y squared plus 81x. Divide 81 by 81x divided by negative 9x. The x and x cancel out. 81 divided by 9, negative 9 is minus 3. So y squared. So this is your thing so far. This is your factor. This is your primary factor, as I like to call it. Negative 9x into y squared minus 9 or 3 squared. Again, difference of squares. Straight away you get 3 squared. So negative 9x, y minus 3, y plus 3. That's it. If you have difference of squares, please use them. Now this only works for a squared minus b squared. This does not work for a minus b squared in brackets squared. This doesn't work for a squared plus b squared. That only applies to a squared minus b squared. So negative 9, y minus 3 and y plus 3. Okay. Now, part C. This has some long division since I don't think I know what 175 or you know what 175 divided by 7 is. But it's a common factor since 63 and 210. I know that they have the greatest common factor of 7. So I just had to try 175 divided by 7 and see if it works. It did. So the GCF here is 7. Okay. This is a quadratic. We don't know. It should equal 0. It should. Okay. So now you divide by 7 since that's your greatest common factor, and since there is an x in this term and an x in this term, no x in this term, you don't take out the x as a factor. And if there is, you take out the one with the least exponent. So if there was, say, an x here, okay, you don't take out 7x squared, you take out 7x. You take it with the least exponent. You don't take it with the greatest or any other, just the least exponent. In this case, there isn't a third x, so you don't even do this in the first place. Now, 175 divided by 7, I figured it out already through the long division to see if 175 is divisible by 7 in the first place. It gave me 25x squared because 20, you leave the x squared since nothing happened to it, minus 210x. Now, 21 divided by 7 is negative 21. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Add a 0, and since there's a negative sign, you leave the negative sign. So you got 30x straight away. And then 63 divided by 7 just gives you 9. Now this is your primary factor. In a quadratic, you cannot use the SP method for this since the term has a coefficient greater than 1. Okay, so this that method does not work. What you will have to do, you're gonna have to use trial and error here. Now the way you use trial and error, the factors of this sum, the factors of this number, sorry, so like 5 and 5, or like I think the only factors of 25 are 5 and 5, and or 25 and 1, 25 and 1, 5 and 5, and 9 and 9 and 1, and negative 3 and 3, or whatever. Um, yeah, the result of like the multiplication of them, so like what I did here, has to equal the middle number. Okay, so I will show you what I mean by using the example. Okay, so say I got this was on my first try of my trial and error. I got 7 into 5x minus 3 into 5x minus 3. Now I check 5x multiplied by negative 3 gave me 15x, since there's a negative sign, and negative 3 multiplied by 5x gave me a negative 15x. Now you add them, you put a plus sign here, and you add them, you get negative 30x. Now you check, is this value equal to the value you have in your primary factor? If it is, you factored successfully, that's the right answer. Now you note, if you've been having a keen eye, you've noticed that this is just the same value repeated twice. This is 5x minus 3 just twice, so just write it 5x minus 3 squared. That's it. That's way simpler. So just write it 5x7 5x minus 3 squared. Okay, this is a theorem, and this is statements and reasons. I will not be explaining. This is difference of squares. So x squared minus 12 squared. So x minus 12 and x plus 12. Same thing. Literally the same thing. 10 squared minus 3x squared. So 10 minus 3x and 10 plus 3x. By now you should, after watching this video, you should have mastered the difference of squares. Another statements and reasons, this will be skipped as this is pure memorization. Now, I will need to go to question 17, as there are some properties I need to explain of isosceles trapezoids. Now, non-parallel sides are equal. This might confuse you because I couldn't find a better wording. Technically speaking, this and this are not parallel. So judging by my wording, I could say this is equal to this. That's not what I mean. What I mean, in an isosceles trapezoid, this and this are parallel. Okay, I do not know. So QR is parallel, and here QR is parallel. So the parallel drawing is like this. Into PS. Now they're parallel, but they're not equal. So if I write equal, they're not equal. The non-parallel sides, which are this and this. This is how you draw equality in geometry. These two are equal. Okay, so this and this are equal. Okay, now you know this right now. So this info that I gave you is enough to solve this question. However, they might ask you another question relating to these properties. The diagonals are congruent or equal, so the diagonals of from here to here, that's a diagonal, and that value is gonna be equal to this value. Now my drawing's terrible, so they're probably not gonna be equal if I tested it, but theoretically they are equal. Okay, what other properties do we have? Opposite angles add up to 180. What I mean, I also skipped this angle property, I'll get to it later. Opposite angles add up to 180, so this angle plus, and this angle R and angle P, this will add up to 180. Angle Q and angle S, they all that adds up to 180. Okay. And finally, the adjacent angles, so on the same segment. So this and this, these are adjacent. You should be taking them from the tan and the sine and the cosine. These two are congruent, and the bottom two are congruent too. Okay, that rule, these are all the rules. Now this is included in the drive, of course, you can look for it yourself. Now the rule we need for this one is the first rule, non-parallel sides are equal. So 3x minus 7 is equal to 8. If you take the 7 to the other side, it will be 3x. Let me just go to the copy book. You take the 3x minus 7, that 7 to the minus 7 to the other side, it will be positive 7, so 8 plus 7 is 15. 3x equals to 15, x equals to 5, and 5 is your answer. Okay. This is more quadratic factoring. So, factoring the quadratics is what I did. It's the repetition. It's here. So minus 18x squared, minus 15x, sorry, and plus 12. You take minus 3 as their factor, since that's the greatest common factor. You divide, you'll get this, right? You'll have this. Now, by the way, please do look at the document. Please look at it's labeled, let me just see if I can move this. It's labeled Math CE1. And if you have anything, any questions, you can just ask me in the comments. Okay, now you simplify it using trial and error. As you can see, on my first try, it didn't work. As this is proof that the trial and error doesn't work at always. From your first try, you need to keep factoring and trying. Okay, now I tried this, negative minus 3 into 2x minus 1 into 3x plus 4. Now, normally in the exam, they will give you values. What happened to the website? I think it's crashed, so we're gonna have to log back in. Okay. Normally in the exam, they will give you the values of the thing, of the, I forgot what it was called. The values of the variables. So they will give you, for example, 2x and 4. They might give you that. They will also probably provide the blanks where they are, the positioning. Okay, and yeah, that's most of the time this will be given. If not, use trial and error purely. Okay, I tried it the second time. I got 5x. Now I went up and checked. Was 5x the same as the answer? Yes, it was. So that's 5x. So that value is correct. Okay, let's go to week 2 here so I can get back on the quiz. So this means that this factorized result, this is the right answer. Now, we're gonna have this, which is the same thing. As you can see here, the only difference is this might confuse people. The coefficient here is 1, so this is just gonna be 1x. Don't look at it as negative x, look at it as negative 1x. Okay? The value, the way it's represented doesn't really matter, by the way. Just saying. Now, you multiply 5x and 2, this is negative 6x. This is wrong. Please, this is incorrect. I will try and edit this if I can. So the value here, this is negative 6x, and this will result in negative x or negative 1x, and that value is correct. The result is right. The thing I wrote down is wrong though. This is right though. The main answer, this is right. So this is an accepted answer. Anyways, this was for part B. Now this. I will need to explain this. Let me just enter into the quiz. So, we will be going into the CE practice 1. I will do the CE practice 2, and I heard it is a little bit harder. I will do the same thing I'm doing right now. Don't worry. I will be publishing. Okay, we did this. It's saved. Okay, wonderful. Now I just have to rewrite these values. So A was 2x, was it? No. Yeah. Okay, a was 2x minus 1 into 3x plus 4. So, well, let me just remember the negative 3, 2x minus 1. See here, they did not give the values, the some positions and some of their values. This means you're gonna have to do it purely on your own. So this would be 7, 5x minus 2, 3x plus 1. 7, 5x minus 2, 3x plus 1. Okay, so now we go on to 19. Now, here, this is not the same. So this is 8 cubed. Now you know this. You're just gonna have to try to figure this out. You're grade 9. You should be able to know what's 1 cubed to 10 cubed. So like 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 27, 4 cubed I believe is 64. Yeah, it is. 5 cubed is 125, 6 cubed is 216, and 7 cubed is 343. 8 cubed is 512, and 9 cubed was 9 cubed I forgot. No, I did not. 729, something like that, and 10 cubed is 1000. You need to memorize at least the first the first 10. That's it. It's not that hard. Now, what you do here? This can be tricky because this a cubed minus b cubed is not the same as a minus b cubed. They are two totally different things. Now, I asked ChatGPT how do I rephrase it. It told me that in brackets. So let me just go to the whiteboard. How do I clear you? In brackets. So a minus b cubed. This is an h. A minus b cubed. This is the cube. This will be the cube of the result of a minus b. So like for example 5 minus 4 or 5 minus 3, it's going to be the result of that, which is 2 cubed. Okay, and meanwhile a cubed, oh my god, I am terrible at drawing. A cubed minus b cubed, this is the cube. So this will equal a cube. So like for example, I don't really know how to explain this part, but listen, the order matters. What the matters is the order. Here you do a minus b first, then you cube that. Here you do a cubed first, then b cubed first, then you subtract them from each other. Okay, that's the difference. Now, so you apply the formula, which I have written down. Let me just go down here for you guys. A cubed minus b cubed is a minus b into a squared plus ab plus b squared. That is a lot, I know. It's a lot, but it's necessary. You do need to memorize this. Okay. So, oh, forgive me for that. There's something plugged in. Okay. You will need to memorize this, as this will come in your exam probably. So it's really simple. It's just a minus b into a squared minus plus ab plus b squared, and the opposite, if I have it here, which I believe I do. If I can find that remarkable identity for that one. It's there somewhere. No. Oh wait, yeah, I just found it. So, it's going to be here. Though I did not write it down. It's yes. So it's going to be a plus b for the positive. Sorry, a cubed plus b cubed for this one. A plus b into x squared. So x squared minus ab plus b squared. Let me see if I can find the picture that I had. Cubic remarkable identity. Okay, this should be a valid question thing to check for. If I could
open the image. Thank you. Why is it so small? Now, can I zoom into this? Can I move you? Okay, it refuses to move, and all the pictures are extremely small. There we go. I think that readjusted. You can see it slightly. If I can find a better, one for you guys. Yeah. So unfortunately, there isn't. So if you can see it, I'm not gonna log into my Facebook. Thank you very much. If you can see it, so this is the formula of the squares, and this is the formula of the cube. Okay, there we go. I found it. Okay, so as you can see, they're totally two different formulas. Now, this is just what this is just a plus b cubed, but like more simplified. This I find harder. If you want to use it, you can. It's the same answer. It's just a cubed plus b cubed plus 3a squared b plus 3a b squared. It's the same thing, just in a different form. And this is the same thing: a cubed minus b cubed. Just the same story. Now these two are the same though. These two are like the book. So you're gonna have a plus b for the positive, a plus b into a squared plus b squared minus ab, or in the way that it's written in the book, it's a squared minus ab plus b squared. Or when you have negative, so a cubed minus b cubed. So this is the difference of cubes. You're gonna have a minus b and a cubed plus b cubed plus ab. If you've noticed, if you have a keen eye, this matches with this, and this matches with this. The signs match always for the first one. Now, for the AB, what you have to memorize, if it's a positive, if it's a cubed plus b cubed, it's negative AB. That's it. That's all you have to memorize. If it's positive, if it's a difference of cubes, it's only a minus b that's negative, and everything else is positive. Um, if you guys want to take a screenshot, go ahead. Please do ignore these two, as I have the better version in my notes. Okay, back to the quiz. So, we're gonna have to apply the here. This is a difference of cubes. So this is going to be a minus b. So it's 8 cubed, we said, right? So x minus 8 into now positive ab here. Note positive ab. So a multiplied, which is 8, which is 8 multiplied into b, which is x. So 8x squared plus 8x plus 8 squared, which is 64. Okay. Now, this is the addition part. So this is going to be slightly more difficult. So this is going to be minus 2. And now you just have y cubed. So this is going to be your primary factor. Minus 2. Let me go to the notes for you guys, just so you guys can understand more. Minus 2 y cubed minus 27. Because 54 divided by 2 is 27, right? Now, 27 is 3 cubed. We said it. It's one of the most basic cubes. So, minus 2, so you just apply the positive the positive difference of squares. So it's going to be y minus 3, and everything else is filled out for you except the b squared, which is 9. Okay. And if you guys again did not screenshot it, you guys can, of course. Okay. So now you're gonna have this one. This one is tricky because notice how it's like this. It's x to the power of 4, and it's going to be 3x because there's an x on both sides, so you have to put the x in the factor. Now if you notice, you're gonna have x cubed after dividing 3x by 3x to the power of 4. So 3x to the power of 4 divided by 3x. You're gonna have x cubed minus let me just go back here because I kind of forgot. 64. Now, sorry, my bad. Oh my god, sorry about that. So you're gonna have x minus 64, which is 4 cubed. Okay, that's your primary factor. So it's 3x into x cubed minus 64, because the x cancelled and 192 divided by 364. So x minus 4 cubed, so x minus 4 into 4x. See how easy this quiz is? Okay, x cubed plus 343. This is the same exact thing, but just slightly harder. So you have the x here, you don't need to do anything. X cubed already here, so 343. 343 is the 7 cubed. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so it's x plus 7, and this is going to be minus 7x, and this is going to be 49. Now, here, 432, I believe to be 9. No, it's not 9. 432, I don't think it's factorizable, is it? Oh wait, I forgot to divide by 2. Oh my god, I'm such a dumbass. I just cussed. It's fine. Okay, so it's minus 2 n plus, now you divide, I think you got 216. 216 is 6 cubed. So it's n plus 6, and this is going to be 36. Let me just check. Yes, it is. Okay. So 3y to the power of 5. Again, same story. Just divide by 3. 192 divided by 3 gives you 13 divided by 18, 6, 64. 64. Okay. So this which 64 is 4 cubed, so it's 4 and 4. Let me just check. It's 3y. Is it? Yes, it is. Okay. Now, 6x squared minus 7x minus 20. Okay, this is another quadratic factorization question. And in this one, they did give you the position of minus 5. So obviously this is going to be, since this is a minus, at the stayed minus, this is going to be positive 4. And it's given, the signs are given. So this was going to be either 3 and 2 or 2 and 3. Let me just check. It's going to be 3 and 2. Now, this is just common factorizing. This is the easy part of the factorization. If you want me to explain, I will. Now this is another geometry question I did forget to talk about. So when you have this and it's an angle bisector, and it's it cuts at the midpoint of the hypotenuse of a right triangle, this value, in this case it's yr, so 4x plus 11, is going to be half of the hypotenuse. So it's either going to be equal to xr or rz. They gave you the whole hypotenuse, so it's going to be 4x plus 11 equals into 5x plus 1. Okay, now you do that double switcheroonie, because like you want x alone. So you're gonna have 5x minus 4x, which is 1x or x, 11 minus 1, which is 10, so x equals 10. That's it. That's your answer. Okay, now this, you're gonna want to do the big over the total or the big over the small. Personally, I don't recommend the big over the small. I don't really trust that much. It does work for this, mind you. The answer will generate the same result. So it's going to be 8 over 12, since 8 over 8 plus 4. Let me just go here. So it's 8 over 12 equal to, you set this equal, since you want the value of x, 12 over 12 plus x, and 12 plus x gives us the total, right? That's kind of common sense. So then you factor. And should simplify. We've factored way too much in this quiz, guys. Divide by 4 to simplify. So 8 divided by 4 gives you 2, and 12 divided by 4 gives you 3. Now you cross multiply. 2 times 3, 12 plus x, 24 plus 2x equals 36. You take 24 to the other side, 2x equals 12, x equals 6. And that is your answer. It's that simple. It is that simple. Oh. Now, I said I was going to talk about how their functions. You don't need to know. They just think of them as normal polynomials. This is subtraction of polynomials. Do the same thing I did, except one thing. Since it says you're gonna subtract px minus qx, you put instead of all of this, you put a subtraction sign. So again, like the one we did before, if you add a subtraction sign, everything reverses, right? So positive becomes negative and negative becomes positive. So it will be minus 25x minus 2x to the power of 4, x cubed minus 2x to the power of 4 minus 4x plus x squared. Okay, since you're just adding the negative sign, like basically this is all qx, right? So think of this as qx. So px minus the negative sign, open the brackets, and qx. So you just distribute the values. That's what I mean. If you did not understand, I'll clarify later in the comments if you didn't. No. And when you do that, you get this extremely long answer, and it should be correct. It is correct, but just to be safe, better to be safe than sorry. Minus 13x cubed plus 5x squared. Again, make sure to rearrange in standard form, please. 5x squared minus 10 was the last value plus 9. Okay. 2 more questions and we're done. Fill in the blank, assume that all variables are different from 0. Now this you guys sometimes confuse, but most of you don't. Now, if there's a negative value, change it to bring it down or bring it up depending on where it is. So here it's negative 2, so you're bringing it down from the up position. And q to the power 4 is positive, is positive. Now, here there's negative 5, and you can't see it from the arrow. But this is a negative 5, so you bring this up and you bring this down. I wrote it down, as you can see it's drawn. So now they combine, so you have 4 q to the power of 5 and q to the power of 4. They add, since it's the same base, it's just 1 for both of them. So it's going to be 4 q to the power of 9, so 5 plus 4 over 5 p to the power of 3 plus p to the power of 2. Since you brought this down, it's going to be positive. So it's going to be 2p to the power of 5. All of this is squared. Then you distribute the square. 4 squared is 16. And when you're multiplying exponents, I told when you have an exponent to another exponent, do not. It's not 9 squared. It's 9 times 2. It's not 5 squared. It's 5 times 2. Okay. So this is what you'll get. This small answer right here. Okay. So this result is what you have. What do they want? They want p. P is 10. So the answer is 10. That's plain and simple. I wrote 19. 26. This is simple factorization. Now I have it here. As you can see, you take 14 as a common factor, and that's what they want from you. They only want the common factor and the exponents. Be careful, since it's x cubed, you take the lowest exponents, as I said. So there's x and y in both, but here's x squared, so you write down x squared instead of x cubed. Here there's y squared, so you write down y squared. And this is the Math CE quiz, practice 1. Please memorize the statements and reasons. I cannot cover them because I'm not like an engineer. I don't know how to describe statements and reasons. We have made a mistake. It's probably a typo. 3, 2, 4. Yeah, okay, this is a typo. I think this is 2, this is 3. I might have mixed up the values. If I did, I am extremely sorry. And we are correct. That's it. That is the quiz, guys. Good luck on your exams. Study well. Make your academic comeback good. Have a nice day.